Hi, and welcome to this Impact tutorial. In this video, we'll be going through the preventive maintenance setup in Impact, where we'll review how to set up automated preventive maintenance schedules for each equipment. The preventive maintenance setup is comprised of two programs, the equipment program and the job plans program, and we'll be going through both today to show you how to set up preventive maintenance. So first we're going to go into our equipment program, and this equipment program is where you'll enter and maintain all of the equipment. So the first step of the preventive maintenance setup is you just want to make sure that all of your equipment is entered under each of your properties. So to add a piece of equipment, it's really simple. Up at the top left, you just select new equipment, and all that's required is the equipment number / name and the description. You can enter the manufacturer, the model number, the serial number, warranty expiration date, things like that, but those are optional. So I'll just go ahead and I will enter, let's say, an air handler. So I'll say AHU-1 and my description. Perfect, and I will go and save, and it's added. So to add a piece of equipment, that's all we need to do. I'll just do it again right quick just to get another piece of equipment in there. Let's put AHU2 air handler unit -2. Perfect. So I got my air handler units in here, and you would just repeat that step for each piece of equipment that you have. And you would do that for each property. Once you have all of the equipment entered in there, that's the first step. We just want to make sure that our equipment's in there. Our second step is where we go to create our job plans. And our job plans are going to be where we set up the job plans and associated tasks for each piece of equipment. We can also establish estimated durations for each of those jobs. So I'll go back to our main screen here, and I'm going to go into job plans. And I always like to start off by explaining the job plans are going to be universal. It's kind of unique in Impact. A lot of things in Impact are property specific, but the job plans are going to be universal. And that means if you create a job plan, you're going to be able to apply that one job plan across multiple properties and across multiple pieces of equipment. So it's really convenient that if you have air handler units across all your properties, you don't have to create a job plan for every single one of those, or even like every single property. You just create one air handler unit job plan, and you're going to be able to apply that across all those properties. So for the job plan, what I want to do is imagine we have a air handler unit monthly job. We want our technicians to go to do a check on all of our air handler units. So I'll go through creating a job plan now. So we'll go ahead and select new job plan. By default, you have universal job plans and inactive job plans. You can add to this category list, which I'll show in just a minute. But starting out, you're going to want to select universal, because if you selected inactive, that's actually going to inactivate that job plan. So we'll select universal, and the name, number, and description. This is just going to be the name of the job plan. So we will say it is the air handler unit monthly, and I'll add the description, air handler unit monthly. Estimated duration is optional, but it can be used on the APM labor planning report to review the future monthly preventive maintenance schedules and estimated hours. So it's a good way to plan out how many job plans do I have scheduled this month or this quarter, just to make sure that you're not overloading your technicians. So we'll say for this one job, we'll say it should take 30 minutes. And frequency is going to be monthly, and we save it. So the job plan's created. Beyond that, you have two options over here on the right hand side. You have readings and procedures. So with readings, you can optionally create reading entries related to the job plan in the readings column, and with that you can gather information from the technician. So if a piece of equipment has gauges, you can create a gauge 1 reading, gauge 2 reading, gauge 3 reading, and the technician's actually going to be able to enter those readings on that work order, so it'll collect that information. Adding a reading is really simple. You'll click into it, you'll select new reading name, we'll say gauge 1, and let's just say I want to add a gauge 2. And so that way, when this work order gets generated, the technician, he can actually enter a reading for gauge 1 and a reading for gauge 2. The procedures allow you to optionally create like a task list related to the job plan in the procedures column. So you can have like a standard checklist for the technicians to follow. This is going to be like your step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. And adding a procedure, it's really just the same. Procedure number 1, and we'll just say step 1, and then you just kind of go down through the list. And this is really helpful because when the technician goes and does this job, they can pull this procedure list up on the work order. They don't have to carry around a binder or print anything out. The procedure list can be right there for them. And once you have your job plan created, you have your readings, procedures set up if applicable. That's the second step. We have, again, we have our equipment set up. Second, we have our job plan set up. Now for the third and final step is we want to combine our equipment and our job plans together and actually create our APM, which is going to be our automated preventive maintenance. So to set up our automated preventive maintenance, we're actually going to go back to equipment. And for each of our equipment, we have an APM link. And this is where we're going to be able to create our APM frequencies. So I'll select APM for our AHU1. And this automated preventive maintenance setup screen, this is where you can set up all of your APM frequencies. And you can set up as many frequencies as you'd like. So if this air handler unit, if you had a weekly check, a monthly check, a quarterly check, a yearly check, you're able to set up each of those. We're just going to set up our monthly check. So I'll select new APM frequency. I'll select monthly. And then we get these options. So it's really just filling out the blanks here. So next APM, any future date, that's going to be when do you want this APM to generate on. So if you want it to generate on next week Monday, or let's say like the first of the month, you can choose that. PM job plan is where we select our AHU monthly job plan. Service location and job type, those are going to be situational wherever this piece of equipment is located. So I'll just say building exterior. And for job type, I believe we have a preventive maintenance job type. Priority is just going to be how quickly should the technician get this job done. So monthly will probably go within 3 days. You can make an APM billable. If it's billed to the tenant or billed to the property, you have that option. And you can also set up a technician. So whenever this APM gets generated, it can automatically be assigned to a technician so that they'll get an email in the morning about it and they can perform that work. So we'll just assign it to Ray there and we'll save it. And then that's created. So the APM is created. It's going to be a monthly frequency coming out on the 1st, and the system will keep on automatically generating this APM on the 1st each month. Our job plan AHU monthly, and it's going to come out to Ray. And you would just repeat this step for each APM that you need to make. So we're good on the AHU1. So let's go do that one more time for the AHU2. So I'll go into new APM frequency, go to monthly, We want this coming out on the same time. We'll choose our AHU monthly job plan, building exterior, preventive maintenance. The priority is within 3 days, and we'll have it coming out to Ray as well. And then we'll save it, and that's it. Once you create the APM frequency, Impact again will generate the APM automatically on the next APM date and continue to automatically create the APMs dependent on the frequency. So once you create the APM, that's the last step. So just running through it again, the first step, you want to make sure your equipment is in there. Second step, you want to make sure your job plans are created. And the last step, you want to combine the two and create the APM schedule. And once you create your APMs, system will take over and it's going to keep on automatically generating those work orders for you. And that concludes this Impact tutorial. Just a reminder that Impact is customized for each client, and therefore your Impact system may differ from the information provided in this user guide. For further questions, you're always welcome to contact us at support@impactsolutions.com or submit a support request in the Impact system. We're always happy to help in any way we can.